Ultimate cool article+male protagonist invincible+game fusion reality+decisive killing+female protagonist rich, Chen Nian, the strongest player in the world of the game, disaster, with the only profession, spiritual saint. I didn't expect the game to integrate reality and awaken the global human ability. And he directly inherited the talent in the game, speaking freely. Speech spirit, judgment, speech spirit, death god, speech spirit, summoning art, Sen Luo 10 beasts, lion flame, thunder dragon various terrifying and high-risk words have awakened one after another invincible for years. But terrifying monsters spread throughout the world, and the calamity of the blood moon is about to come. All humanity needs to face terrifying extraterrestrial disaster beasts. At the same time, the girl in the game who is infatuated with old age also launches an attack on him in reality. The beloved Ice and Snow Queen, the Red Flame Empress who dominates the world, the sweet and charming female sword immortal when these girls all came to chase after Chen Nian, the school flower who had once refused him was confused. No, why is he? Chapter 1. Game Fusion Reality, I am the strongest player. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Come out together for dinner tomorrow. Chen Nian sent the message to Xia Wen, the flower of Linhai University. Suddenly, the other party displays, typing, Chen Nian is a bit nervous. Unexpectedly, the first thing that caught my eye was a screenshot of my chat history. Brother, how can I refuse this licking dog Chen Nian? Sorry for sending to the wrong person, she didn't even bother to retract the previous message. Chen Nian, I'll be honest, don't lick me anymore, although you do look decent. Who would be interested in a dead otaku who only plays games and reads novels every day and doesn't want to make progress? People need to have some self-awareness, understand. Chen Nian didn't reply to any news and directly blacklisted the other party. What's wrong with the otaku playing games? Did reading novels provoke you? Did you eat your rice? Actually, aging is very popular, especially on the internet. Xia Wen didn't know that Chen Nian was being pursued by a large number of younger sisters every day, such as now brother, why haven't you replied to their message yet? Can you sleep with me on the phone tonight? Don't force me to beg your brother, you have received the transfer. 1314, my sister is wearing black silk today. Do you want to see her legs? Chen Nian? You can see the legs. Pictures, pictures, pictures. Are they nice? Sister, can you also send me the original style stockings and give me the address? Chen Nian. Definitely next time. All the messages are from my sister. Of course, Chen Nian is not a scumbag, these sisters are all he met from the game, Disaster. This is a large-scale online game that is popular worldwide, with a total number of players exceeding 100 million. And Chen Nian is the strongest player in Disaster. What is the strongest? When millions of monster frenzies, various disaster beasts, and flood monsters gather, causing devastating damage to the player's main city, he stood alone in the city, killing a sea of corpses and blood. With his own strength, he turned the tide and shocked the whole world. He has the only profession in the world, the spirit-speaking saint, who speaks freely and has countless fans around the world. His ID is silent. The holy monument in the hearts of millions of players can only be admired. Qi Ling, the flame goddess, surrounded by a million goddesses, confesses her love to the old age with a sea of flames. It is rumored that her real identity is the precious daughter of a national defense general. Iceberg Queen Luo Shui, with her unparalleled ice and snow abilities, pierced through the forbidden area for thousands of miles just to take out a Nishang flower, and give it to Chen Nian. Legend has it that she comes from the famous Zhao family in the martial arts world and is an 18-year-old genius girl. In the eyes of others, the towering female sword fairy is just the lively and lovely little seven sister, who only wants to stick to him every day. There are rumors that she is the daughter of the Su Group, one of the top 100 companies in the world. In this game, there are simply not too many people who fall in love with aging years. Countless wealthy women want to press him onto the bed. However, Chen Nian always adheres to one principle. Online dating is unreliable. So he earnestly pursued Xia Wen, hoping to have a real-life relationship. However, just now, Xia Wen insulted him as a lazy otaku. Actually, Xia Wen didn't know that Chen Nian had already made a fortune by playing games, bought his own villa and luxury car, and held billions of assets. All of this was earned by him as a college student on his own. Now it seems that love in reality is not as easy to talk about, so let it be. Boom! A red lightning flashed outside the window. Chen Nian arrived at the balcony, pulled open the curtains, and the scene in front of him stunned him. The sky is torn apart, and the blood moon is in the sky. Crows roar, the wind roars. It suddenly became like the end of the world. At the same time, golden text appeared before Chen Nian's eyes. The game, Disaster, has integrated into the real world. Monster setup completed, detected that your character has the only talent, spirit-speaking saint, and is currently inheriting. Countdown to Blood Moon Disaster. 30 days, what? Is the game integrated with the real world? Chen Nian is naive at the first time. As an otaku who has read many novels, he quickly understood the meaning behind them. The meaning is that in the real world, there will also be monsters, dungeons, and people in the game who can unlock gene locks, obtain supernatural powers, and be able to ascend to heaven and earth. What's even more outrageous is that I also inherited the talent of the game, Spirit-Speaking Saint. This is the most abnormal and powerful talent in Disaster, the only one in the world. It is precisely this talent that has led Chen Nian onto the path of the Supreme King. Is it really fake? At the first moment, Chen Nian was still doubting whether he was dreaming. Property panel. Name. Chen Nian talent. Spirit-Speaking Saint, only, gene level. Level 1, First Order, Gene Energy. 0. Trying to call out the attribute panel, I didn't expect a light curtain to appear in front of me. Old people are shocked, just like in the game. The gene level is 99 levels in total, and upon reaching the full level, the gene lock can be unlocked and upgraded. Gene energy equals experience value. So, did you keep the talents you gained in the game and start from scratch? The subtitle prompt appears again. Please extract your initial speech spirit. Normally, Yenling is slowly unlocked based on one's own genetic level. But when obtaining this talent, you can ignore the level and directly draw one. Even extremely dangerous speech spirits can be used directly. Before Chen Nian's eyes, many mysterious golden characters appeared. His index finger moved forward, and in an instant, a golden light burst out, like a star exploding. Sequence 121. The Golden Sword of Judgment of Yenling has awakened. Taking a deep breath in old age makes it difficult to suppress the joy in one's heart. This is a high-risk speech that can only be learned later. How powerful is the effect of the Golden Sword of Judgment? As long as the Golden Sword is suspended within the realm, it can kill or take away any living creature. Once upon a time, Chen Nian relied on his eloquence to kill and repel the demons from all directions, and was admired by thousands of people. Isn't having this eloquence at the beginning invincible? Ah, suddenly, female screams came from outside. The cry of the neighboring female neighbor. Without much thought, Chen Nian flipped over and jumped down from the second-floor window. Arriving outside, I found several dark and bloodshot magic dogs attacking my neighbor's yard. The monsters in the game have infiltrated reality, attacking humanity indiscriminately. Let's first test the power of these monsters in terms of speech and spirit. Chapter 2. Quickly kill the little monster. Is the school flower coming for help? You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Lu Si is an old neighbor, with a beautiful and sweet voice, a young girl in her early 20s, who is particularly diligent. She was originally watering the flowers and plants in the yard, but suddenly, the stainless steel door outside the yard made a piercing sound. Turning his head, he saw a huge black dog outside the door, its sharp teeth biting on the fence, and hot saliva dripping onto the ground. It's terrifying. She thought it was another family dog and wanted to drive it away, so she took a clothes-drying pole and walked forward. I didn't expect 2, 3, 4 terrifying black dogs appeared. Their pupils flickered with terrifying light, biting on stainless steel with their sharp teeth, making a constant creaking sound. Immediately afterwards, an even more chilling scene occurred. That stainless steel was actually bitten and bent hard. With a bang, the clothes-drying pole fell to the ground, and Lu Si was even more frightened, sitting on the ground with a cold spine and trembling all over. Monster! Monster! Finally, the gate of the courtyard was completely torn apart. The few black and ink-like vicious dogs, flowing with saliva, walked into the yard with their thick and sturdy limbs. And Lu Si, who was surrounded in the middle, was like a lamb being hunted by wild beasts. Sister Lu. A figure rushed from the side. Xiao Chen. You. Looking at the young man's figure blocking in front of her, Lu Si's heart was immediately filled with shock. In her eyes, this neighbor is a staunch otaku who likes to stay at home and play games, and she hardly sees him on weekdays. I didn't expect that in such a dangerous situation, he would be the first to rush out to protect himself. Chen Nian glanced at it. Originally, it was just a few low-level first-order monsters. I just didn't expect these monsters to infiltrate reality so quickly and start attacking humans indiscriminately. Just give it a chance to test the power of Yanling. A few obscure syllables popped out of my mouth, like incantations engraved on ancient stone tablets. Sequence 121. Speak Spirit, judge the golden sword. In this moment, the aged pupils become shining brightly, and the deep golden light is like melted gold, surpassing all kings. In the void above, a large sword with golden light flowing faintly appeared. This is the power of the Emperor. All living beings in the realm can be killed or taken away. Roar! Roar! A few magic dogs finally couldn't hold back and rushed to kill them all. At this moment, they were even more fierce than the wolf pack on the grassland, with sharp teeth that could bite through steel bars and instantly crush a person's skull. Lu Si was so scared that she hugged her head and screamed. After shouting for a while, she found that the surroundings were calm and she had not been attacked by any monsters. What's going on? She slowly opened her eyes in disbelief, almost stunned by the scene before her. The several vicious dogs were already lying on the ground, turning into black smoke and slowly dissipating. What's going on? The golden light in the aged pupils quickly faded away. Using the golden sword of judgment to deal with these little monsters is like killing chickens with an ox knife. Originally, this was a super high-risk speech spirit for dealing with powerful monsters, and it could even directly fight against ghost-level monsters. All flash sales, naturally without any suspense. Gene Energy +10, Gene Energy +10, Gene Energy +10. Chen Nian was directly promoted to level 3. Killing monsters to gain genetic energy and upgrade, this basic strength setting has not changed. Is it okay, Sister C? No, it's okay. Standing up holding his aged hand, Lu Si, whose legs were still limp, almost jumped into his arms. Full of security. Xiao Chen, are you? What are these monsters? Chen Nian explained, Sister Lu, you should have seen the prompt just now, maybe the world is going to change. After settling down the neighbor sister, Chen Nian continued to sort out the current situation. Opening my phone, I saw that the hot news search had indeed been completely occupied. The fusion of game and reality. It's ridiculous, but I have to believe it, multiple monsters attacked the city, causing a major upheaval in the world. Where should humans go? Game talent can be inherited. Multiple game players possess extraordinary powers. This is definitely not a coincidence. Multiple teleportation arrays have appeared in the city, and monsters are suspected to have entered through the arrays. We urge the extraordinary to guard the entrance of the teleportation array. Chen Nian took a rough look. These are the lowest level monsters that have had a huge impact on the human world. But he knew that what was truly terrifying was the Blood Moon disaster that came a month later. The Blood Moon disaster was the first disaster that appeared in the game, which caught players off guard and massacred the main city with millions of players. The players resurrected time and time again, and finally defended themselves. But in reality, there is no resurrection. Dead is dead. The first goal of aging is very clear, which is to become as strong as possible before the arrival of the Blood Moon disaster, protect oneself, and also protect important people around us. Wait, I have acquired the talents in the game, and those players in the game should have also acquired them. You must not expose your identity, otherwise, those little fangirls and wealthy women will come knocking on their doors and they won't be able to bear it. The class group has already exploded. Lu Yu. My mom, are those news stories all true? Luo Qingqing. What monsters in games do we also see in reality? Have you ever played that game before? Let's talk. Ma Dawei. Hehe, I have played before, and now I have obtained the talent of Flame Master. Su Song. Bully Big Brother, can you hold your thighs and wear a strap? Jiang Chen. I was a Sword Emperor talent in the game, and now I have also awakened, XXX, Sword Emperor. Sleeping in a slot sounds amazing. XXX, brother, where are you now? Can I come and find you? I'm so scared. The speed of scrolling through the screen is almost dozens of messages per second, which Chen Nian can't even read. However, one piece of information can be drawn. People with talent have a tendency to become human beings. And in the future, this trend will become even more apparent. Ordinary people without talent are likely to become cannon fodder in the future. The times have completely changed. I can't imagine what kind of sensation it would cause if my identity were exposed in old age. By then, I'm afraid there won't be many women left. I guess the whole world will come to compete for me, right? The old phone suddenly rang. Caller ID, Xia Wen. Not long ago, he refused and blacklisted the old school flower, even stating that he is a licking dog. Now, what is he doing on the phone again? Aged and indifferent, he pressed the answer button. Chen Nian. Chen Nian, where are you? There are many monsters on this street. I know you also play that game. You must have awakened your abilities, right? Hurry up, come and protect me now. I can give you a chance to be my boyfriend. Chapter 3. Confession refuses me. What's urgent now? You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Xia Wen just came out of the bar. She was wearing a wine-red short skirt, revealing her fair thighs, seductive and charming, and her drunken face was flushed. Holding her is a newly acquainted wealthy second generation. Baby, I'll take you to the hotel, hey. Just as he took 2 steps, the head of the wealthy second generation was suddenly grabbed by a big mouth, and he was suspended in mid-air like this. Ah! Help, Xia Wen was scared crazy on the spot and had no alcohol at all. She finally understood that the integration of games and reality is true. There's no need to worry about the wealthy second generation. They desperately ran away, found a corner trash can to hide, and hurriedly wanted to call for help. Who can save me? By the way, Chen Nian. He can do it. Xia Wen immediately dialed Chen Nian's phone number and immediately shouted, I'm surrounded by monsters, help me. Give you a chance to be my boyfriend. Good. Chen Nian hung up the phone. On the other end, Xia Wen couldn't help but squeeze out a smile. Great, licking dog or that licking dog. I didn't expect that there would be times when a dead otaku could also play a role, so I'll just make use of him. He was humiliated like that earlier, but now he still has to lick his face to protect himself. He is also a despicable person who has never seen a woman before. Blame yourself for being too beautiful, Wait. Xia Wen suddenly realized that something was wrong. Chen Nian didn't even ask where he was just now. How did he come over? People's screams kept coming from outside, the streets were in chaos, and even a person nearby was torn to pieces, causing Xia Wen's heart to suddenly beat faster. She called Chen Nian again. "The number you dialed is temporarily unavailable, please wait." "The number you dialed is temporarily unavailable." He pulled me black. Anger, confusion, shock, disbelief, fear, and other emotions intertwined in Xia Wen's heart. She never expected that even a mere licking dog would have a temper. What made her even more angry was at the end. Unexpectedly, Chen Nian turned around and started chatting in the class group, and there were also many younger sisters who took the initiative to pay attention to her. "Old age, remember it for me. One day you will regret it." Faced with the current chaotic world situation, the officials of Dragon Kingdom have also responded as quickly as possible. Mobile phones constantly send text messages for emergency notifications, and drones and police cars equipped with amplifiers and speakers are also broadcasting around the city. Important notice. All residents are advised to stay at home as much as possible and not to go out casually. Important notice. Those with extraordinary powers are requested to contact the local law enforcement team as soon as possible to contribute to protecting the people. Please stay away from teleportation arrays that suddenly appear in the city, as those places are extremely prone to monsters. Please seek safe shelter as soon as possible. Repeat it again. Chen Nian knew why these low-level monsters appeared in the city. Because there is a teleportation array, it connects the main city with the monster area outside. Monsters can enter the main city through teleportation arrays, and people can also enter the monster area at the fastest speed through teleportation arrays. Chen Nian immediately formulated the current action plan. He is not in the mood to volunteer, let alone hide at home. But instead, actively enter the monster area outside the main city through the teleportation array, upgrade and become stronger, in order to truly face the terrifying disaster in the later stage. Chen Nian set off immediately. There is precisely a teleportation array in the villa area where he lives. At this moment, dozens of law enforcement officers are fully armed and guarding the entrance, preventing anyone from approaching. Attention! There are new monsters appearing again, fire. The police siren sounded loudly, and gunshots roared. The deafening sound of gunfire almost completely tore apart the tranquility of the night. Chen Nian also arrived nearby and indeed saw the chaotic vortex-like teleportation array, from which monsters would occasionally emerge. Most of them are monsters at level 10 or higher, and hot weapons can also cause effective damage to them. Bang 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 bang. Both sides are engaged in a passionate exchange of fire, filled with gunfire and monster corpses. How can we cross this? Old age has caused difficulties. Time waits for no one, so he doesn't want to continue waiting and decides to rush over directly. The golden sword of judgment can slay all things, including bullets, air, powers, and even souls. Stop. A spirited female law enforcement officer drank the old wine, and she should be responsible for evacuating the surrounding crowd. Didn't you see the danger here? Let's go. Don't get close. Chen Nian's face turned pale and he said, "Sister, I just wanted to go. Do you want to seek death? The world is suddenly changing, and even we have many casualties. We have no time to take care of ordinary people anymore. Go home and hide, wait for the official announcement." The other male law enforcement officer on duty next to him shook his head and said, "These wealthy people living in the villa area don't have any common sense. They are still wandering outside at this time, I don't know how to hide well." "Thank you, Sister Ya." The female law enforcement officer wiped her sweat and said, "It's okay, I can only do some guidance and evacuation work. If I can save one more, it's one more." At this moment, a fierce roar suddenly came from ahead. Boom! Even the ground shook along. The sky ahead was almost instantly illuminated by flames. It's a howitzer. Someone has already used howitzers ahead. The terrifying impact made the female law enforcement officer take 2 consecutive steps back. She fixed her eyes and her pupils suddenly tightened. So. What kind of monster is that? The smoke dissipated, and what appeared in front of everyone was a giant tiger covered in black unicorns. The giant tiger is about 2 meters tall, with a body size comparable to 3 adult men, and its entire body is as hard as armor with black unicorns. Under the bombardment of the howitzer, it was surprisingly unscathed. Chen Nian's eyebrows furrowed silently. It knows this thing, one of the novice assassins, named Black Lin Tiger, level 50. Among all first-order monsters, there are those who rank in the middle level. But now I only have 1 level and 3 levels, and my level is almost completely crushed. If I were an ordinary talent extraordinary, I would only have the chance to be slaughtered. Of course, these ordinary law enforcement officers holding firearms are unlikely to pose any threat to it. Let's go. Without waiting for Chen Nian to take action, the female law enforcement officer pulled him and ran back. Hurry up and find a place to hide. Don't go out casually, do you hear me? After speaking, he went to the front line again and devoted himself to work. Explosion-proof shield. Explosion-proof shield, move forward. Snipers hit it in the eye. Don't stop suppressing firepower. People almost poured all their firepower onto this black giant tiger, but it only made a clanging collision sound and did not cause any substantial damage. However, the giant tiger, finally angered, launched its first wave of attack. It rushed forward with lightning speed, knocking down a group of law enforcement officers holding explosion-proof shields on the spot. Terrifying fangs tore apart the explosion-proof shields on the spot. Damn it, reinforcements haven't arrived yet. The captain tightly gripped the walkie-talkie, gritted his teeth, and sweated profusely. "Zhouya, have you finished evacuating the crowd?" he roared. "Report, the evacuation has been completed." As soon as the captain finished asking, he saw a young man wearing a thin T-shirt running in over the warning line. "You evacuated a ball, stop that kid for me, immediately. Everyone else retreat," repeated, "retreat. We're not opponents of this monster." Zhouya turned her head and didn't expect the young man who had just been driven away by her to break into the warning line. She got angry on the spot and ran over with all her might to stop the young man, but she never expected that she could not even run away from him. That young man is as agile as the wind. "Stop. What do you want to do? Stop him quickly. Damn it, is this kid not going to die anymore?" Chen Nian ignored all obstacles. Passing through the firearm defense unit, using the explosion-proof shield as a springboard, he leapt forward and steadily stepped on the head of the giant black tiger. Speech spirit. The golden sword of judgment. The obscure syllables turned into invisible sharp blades, cutting dozens of knives in an instant. When people react. The boy had already rushed into the teleportation array alone and disappeared. And that irresistible terrifying monster, whose body shattered into countless pieces, turned into black smoke and dissipated in the air. Everyone was stunned. P.S. From an author who has written over 400,000 words. This book is mostly written by female protagonists, while the male protagonist is invincible. The plot becomes more and more explosive at the end, belonging to the type where the better lies at the end. In addition to the originally planned 3 female leads, there are also ancient princesses, inheritors of various deities and goddesses, the 9 heavenly empress, Chang'e, and the awakening of the gods. The plot is absolutely epic. Believe the author, I have written many books with multiple female leads, and I have a lot of experience. The later stage is also very stable. Chapter 4. Crazy Upgrade, New Word Spirit. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The scene was silent. Everyone stared blankly at the portal, unsure of what to say for a moment. There was only one law enforcement officer who was knocked down to the ground, and due to being pressed down by an explosion-proof shield, he didn't know what had happened and was still shouting loudly at the moment. "Help, help." But after shouting for a while, he suddenly realized that it was too quiet outside, and finally slowly poked his head out. I found that the terrifying monster had disappeared, and my colleagues were all expressionless, as if they had seen a ghost. What? What's going on? What about that monster? Killed by a young man in a flash. What? Zhou Yara was stuck in her throat, and the shock in her pupils persisted for a long time. She now understood that the young man just now was not an ordinary person, but a gamer of disaster, a true extraordinary. If it weren't for him just now, I don't know how many colleagues would have died at the scene. Fortunately, there is him. And I actually scolded him and pulled him away. Looking back now, she only felt a burning sensation on her face, feeling a bit at a loss. Too strong. Is this the power of the transcendent? No. The captain shook his head and said, I have seen several volunteers, although they also have extraordinary power, they are never so strong. This person is an exception. But why did he enter the teleportation array? Zhou couldn't help but ask. Ambitious. Captain Muru praised, his first goal is probably not to protect others, but to become stronger first. In the future, only powerful superhumans may be able to fight against those powerful monsters. This world is going to change. Zhou only realized later and nodded, shall we go check his information so that we can recruit him in the future? No need, we cannot restrict their development in any way. In the future, they will be the main force in maintaining world peace. After passing through the teleportation array, Chen Nian successfully arrived outside the main city. After the integration of game and reality, the city of Linhai, where Chen Nian was located, was also divided into 4 city gates, and the areas outside the city gates all had monsters. Just now, killing the first level, level 50 Black Tiger gave him 100 points of genetic energy. Level 10. Ranked up to level 10, Chen Nian successfully comprehended the new spirit of speech. Sequence 10. Speech Spirit. Flash Thunder, one of the basic speech spirits, it can summon thunder to attack enemies, which is quite practical. At the same time, the attributes have also changed. Name. Chen Nian Talent. Spirit Speaking Saint, only, gene level. Level 10, First Order, Physical Fitness. 10, Affects Strength and Physical Strength, Agility. 10, Affects Speed and Reaction, Extraordinary. 10, Affects all extraordinary powers. Normally, all talents increase by 1 point in all attributes by leveling up, so leading the level gives a great advantage. The things to do in old age are very simple, upgrade. Many first-order monsters. Looking around, there is a scent of monsters everywhere, and it's unclear whether these monsters will refresh after being killed. First come, first served. They are all experience points. Of course, high-risk words with terrifying power like the Golden Sword of Judgment cannot be used casually in old age. Firstly, it consumes a lot and can only be used a few times. Secondly, it is easy to be recognized by players who are familiar with themselves in the game. Especially those fangirls when playing Disaster. In the past, there was a wealthy woman who offered a reward of 1 million yuan in cash and asked for her real-life contact information. There's no way, as he doesn't get involved in the game, many people just want to get in touch with reality. Later, the price was skyrocketed to tens of millions as long as you can provide the real address, name, appearance, and other information of your old age, you can find a wealthy woman to collect 10 million yuan. It's terrifying. Boys really need to protect themselves when surfing the internet. Being too popular can also be dangerous. Fortunately, Chen Nian has always been properly protecting his information, even using virtual IPs to access the internet. He has also invested heavily in establishing the safest network security firewall to avoid being exposed. He is afraid that once he is exposed, he will directly destroy normal real life. And now it cannot be easily exposed. Once exposed, it can be easily contested by those wealthy women who admire it, or even attacked by the state or even assassinated. Because in the game, there will be a national war in the later stages. The existence of old age undoubtedly puts enormous pressure on other countries and must be eliminated quickly. It's no use thinking about that now. Chen Nian has already started the process of pulling monsters. The most effortless way to upgrade is to pull a wave of monsters and kill them together, commonly known as one-wave flow. Goblin, ghost wolf, silver-toothed snake, they are all familiar first-order monsters. After running wildly for a while, it attracted more than 10 people to come over. Speech spirit. Flash thunder. The obscure syllables turned into thunder in the night sky, smashing down without warning. Boom. The ground was blasted open with flowers. Several first-order monsters turned into ashes on the spot. Gene energy +10, gene energy +10, gene energy +10. Congratulations on obtaining the equipment, precious iron wrist guard, regular, congratulations on obtaining the equipment, golden steel leggings, excellent, old age brings great joy. Explosive equipment. Unexpectedly, killing monsters in reality will also explode equipment, which is exactly the same as the mechanism in the game. The equipment is divided into 7 levels. Ordinary, excellent, rare, epic, legendary, mythological, and heavenly. The better the equipment, the lower the explosion rate. I just killed a group of little monsters and unexpectedly revealed a sophisticated equipment. I'm lucky. Precision iron wrist guard, normal, defense. 10 attack. 0 attribute attachment. None special effect. None, gene steel leg guards, excellent, defense. 30 attack. 0 attribute bonus. Constitution +5 special effect. None, Chen Nian directly replaced the 2 pieces of equipment. The equipment can automatically blend into the current outfit without any burden, only adding attributes. Defense +40, Constitution +5, the aging attribute panel has also undergone changes. Chen Nian. The Sage of Speech and Spirit, only, gene level. First Order, level 14, physical fitness. 19 agility. 14 extraordinary. 14 attack attachment. 0 defense bonus. 40 combat power assessment. 8 stars. Of course, this so-called combat power assessment only applies to the current attribute and does not consider other factors. If we include the advanced words and spirits of the past, I'm afraid this combat power cannot be evaluated. After taking a break, he opened his phone and looked at his classmates. That's great. I just killed a monster and obtained the talent card of magician, hahaha, killing monsters can also unleash talent. Respecting and pretending to be Dudu. Isn't it possible for all of us to be extraordinary? Woo-woo, did my brother take me to fight monsters? In the future, they can help you warm up the bed, big shots asking for QAQ. A group of rookies, I have reached level 7, sleeping slot level 7. Brother, are you too fierce? Have you been killing monsters and upgrading? I haven't seen such a high level before. I guess no one in our school is stronger than you. Can you add a friend, brother? Please. Chen Nian remained silent. If he says in the group that he has reached level 14, his phone will probably explode instantly. Chapter 5. Encounter level 70 Wild Boss. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Compared to a group of cute and rookie class groups, those hardcore game groups are completely different. Almost all players who have played Disaster immediately think of upgrading. They also understand that the era of players has arrived. Only by becoming stronger can we become more competitive and survive in greater disasters. Level 7 Swordsman Seeking Group, Absolute Strength, come and quickly upgrade the team. Level 6 Elf Envoy, with a beautiful voice and sweet milk. Is there a powerful expert who can kill monsters quickly to lead you flying? It will definitely make you fly with joy, receive talent cards, receive regular equipment, have stock for private chat, reasonable price, level 10 Qigong Master, equipped with monster brushing skills, private chat, can be paid with flesh. Priority given to young women, Chen Nian is a diving monster. Even if speaking in a group, one will never reveal their identity. After all, he is the god in the hearts of all players in the disaster, speechless. If you don't pay attention, your real identity will be exposed through social media accounts, which can be troublesome. Let's continue upgrading. The primary goal is to continue leveling up, and it would be even better if you could encounter a wild boss. Killing a wild boss usually earns you rich rewards, including but not limited to, rare equipment, skill scrolls, upgraded crystal cores, etc. For 2 whole days, Chen Nian wandered in the wilderness killing monsters. Sunset and Dusk. Level 35. The aging level has soared to level 35. His upgrade method is the most efficient and long-lasting. First pull a wave of monsters, and then slay them in one fell swoop. Although each use of the word spirit will consume extraordinary strength within the body, upgrading will also increase strength, achieving a balance. Others may get tired and rest. He doesn't need it. After upgrading, several Yenling have been unblocked, and their combat abilities have taken a leap. Sequence 9. Eagle Eye Sequence 19. Flame Explosion Sequence 33. Wind and magic cutting at the same time, Chen Nian also possesses a complete set of excellent equipment, greatly improving his attributes. Chen Nian. The Sage of Speech and Spirit, only, gene level. First Order, level 35, Physical Fitness. 46 Agility. 42 Extraordinary. 42 Attack Additional. 110 Defense Bonus. 260 Combat Power Assessment. 25 stars. With his current defense, those low-level first-order monster attacks can be ignored without taking any damage. And killing monsters in old age no longer requires the use of words and spirits, and physical attacks can be directly used, making it easier. This is the advantage brought by high levels. It has been 2 days since the game Disaster merged with reality, and the city has basically stabilized. Supernatural individuals with talent, some recruited by the security team, some become private thugs in the company, some go outside to practice. According to my observations over the years, nowadays anyone above level 20 will be praised to the sky wherever they go. Those big companies casually offer salaries of over 500,000 yuan per month. But Chen Nian knew that being employed by others would only slow down the pace of becoming stronger, and the future development space would be smaller. Hi brother, you also came out to kill monsters. Chen Nian was sitting on the ground blowing the wind when suddenly a team of 3 came up ahead. 2 men and 1 woman. The leading man smiled and said, "We are also players in Disaster, and our levels are not low now. Why don't we form a team together?" "No, I'm used to being alone." Chen Nian flatly refused. "If you team up, the experience points will be evenly distributed. Why share equally with others when one can kill monsters without pressure on their own? Brother, it's not easy to be a lone wolf these days. If you die in reality, you won't be able to resurrect. Think carefully." "Thank you, no need." The man gave a glance to the woman beside him when he saw that old oil and salt had not entered. "My older brother is a level 21 swordsman, it's your blessing to team up with us. Not only does he level up quickly, but he can also challenge powerful monsters." The woman was full of pride, believing that when she said level 21, this person could not refuse. Who doesn't know, those above level 20 are top experts. "I'm not interested." "You. What an ignorant thing. The woman is extremely arrogant, I didn't expect this person to be so arrogant." Unable to persuade Chen Nian, they had no choice but to leave. As soon as she walked a distance, the woman couldn't help but spit and began to complain. "Are you cheap or not? Do you really consider yourself a person? Forget it, the 3 of us can't fight against the boss either. I originally wanted to make that kid a cannon fodder, but I didn't expect him to be quite clever. The more we think, the more angry we become. After we finish fighting the boss, let's go back and kill that guy. Anyway, the real world is in chaos now, and even if we kill him, no one can control us. Maybe we can still grab some useful things. Huh, my sister makes sense. After entering the forest, the three of them walked cautiously towards the target. Ahead is a 5-meter-tall tree man. In Disaster, its official name is Disaster Tree Man. Those branches can be transformed into sharp swords that penetrate armor, with extremely terrifying attack and defense capabilities. The level is as high as level 70, which is a high-level presence among first-level monsters. As a boss-level monster, there is also an additional attribute enhancement. Extremely difficult. If we were to suppress it, the rewards would be immensely generous. We're only in our early 20s, can we really kill this level 70 tree man? Su Meng chuckled and said, forgot who I am. In the game, I have only browsed this boss. Its attack mode is very simple, as long as we carefully consume it remotely. If you have a treasure, you will become rich. The other two people's eyes lit up as soon as they heard it. They all follow Su Meng, and in the game he is the big shot. He must be able to eat and drink spicy food. Up. 3 people launched an attack simultaneously. At the beginning, the attack mode of the Disaster Tree Man was still within their expectations. Gradually, they finally felt a bit overwhelmed. Because performing various actions in reality requires physical exertion, not in games. They overlooked that this was their own personal combat, not operating the keyboard and mouse. Ah! The woman's thigh was pierced by steel-like branches. No, we're not opponents. Ah! Another man was also violently whipped away, with a bleeding wound exposed on his chest and smashed to the ground. Su Meng was unable to stand on his own, and his weapon blade was twisted away. His face was extremely solemn. The second difference between games and reality. After being injured, it will significantly affect your mobility, rather than the cold health bar in the game. The 3 of them felt the fear of death for the first time. At this moment, a slender young man jumped down from the tree and stood in front of several people. Without strength, don't come and seek death. Chen Nian's face remained expressionless and his tone remained indifferent. It's him. It's the person just now. The woman was extremely shocked. This person can just hide in the dark and peek, he dares to come out. In front of me is a boss-level monster at level 70. We 3 can't fight together, is he here to die? Chapter 6. Massacre the boss and obtain epic-level equipment. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I finally ran into a wild boss, and Chen Nian naturally couldn't give up. He took action, completely for boss rewards. As for saving these 3 people by hand, it was just out of humanitarianism, and their lives were not closely related. Level 70, Tree People in Disaster. There is no pressure to solve it in old age. The Disaster Tree Man has a characteristic that if you use fire attacks on it for a long time, it has a chance to mutate into the Flame Disaster Tree Man. The level will also increase from level 70 to level 80, making it more powerful and of course easier to unleash rare items. What does he want to do? Does he want to challenge level 70 Disaster Tree People alone? Don't worry about him, let's heal the wound first. Su Meng and his companions were originally in danger of their lives, but Chen Nian has now taken action, so they can take advantage of the monster being dragged down to heal and escape. After awakening, the extraordinary person's genetic energy in their body far exceeds that of ordinary people, and their injuries can generally recover slowly. Now is a race against time. Try to recover as much as possible before that kid is killed by the Disaster Tree Man. Chen Nian extended his palm and whispered a few obscure notes. Speech and spirit. Flame explosion. Bang. A burst of inflammation exploded on the disaster-stricken tree man. The disaster-stricken tree man let out a piercing low cry, and his whole body danced like countless wandering snakes. Is he a flame mage? Kill coins, don't use flame power to attack the disaster tree people. Su Meng shouted hysterically. The flame skill will mutate this monster. Do you want to kill us all? Chen Nian didn't have the mood to pay attention to the roar behind him. He continued to speak with expressionless expression. Boom. 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 The disaster-stricken tree people kept exploding on their bodies, like setting off fireworks. Several people's pupils were lit up by flames. The disaster-stricken tree man also gradually underwent changes, with all his branches burning in blazing flames. Crazy, he's just a crazy person. Su Meng's spine was cold, and his face was already filled with fear. The mutated disaster tree man not only greatly enhances its full attributes, but also expands its attack range. The flames make it difficult for people to get close, making it difficult to defeat in the future. It's all because of this ignorant idiot. Let's go, hurry up. When it mutates, it will create a flame barrier, and we will all die inside. During his rookie years, Su Meng witnessed a team of 12 people attacking the disaster tree people. When the disaster tree people mutated, flames turned the earth into a prison and trapped all 12 people to death. The 3 of them couldn't afford to continue recovering from their injuries and stumbled and fought their lives to escape. Unfortunately, it's still too late. Wu Long Howl symbolized the complete transformation of the disaster tree people. The disaster-stricken tree man spewed countless flames, spreading like petals, scattering and crashing around. The surrounding area is completely sealed off by raging flames. The air is twisted by high temperature, and the scorching wind carries scorching dust. 4 people were all trapped in a cage of raging flames. The only way to get out is to defeat the mutated flame disaster tree man. Done. It's all done. The woman knelt down on the ground, looking at the terrifying monster with flames all over her body, her face turned ashen. It's all his fault. Ignorant fool. The anger and resentment of several people were concentrated on Chen Nian. If it weren't for him causing the disaster-stricken tree people to mutate, they would have had a chance to survive, but now there is really no hope. A level 80 wilderness boss, flame disaster tree man. At present, who can resist? Anyone who comes will die. Moreover, this kid is just a flame mage, and flame skills can no longer work on monsters, causing no damage at all. He's really crazy. A few people stared blankly at the old figure, their mouths open, like a lump in their throat. I saw the figure leisurely strolling in the courtyard, calm and composed, walking step by step towards the flame disaster tree man. Yes, Chen Nian has become a crazy person who doesn't want to die in their eyes. After all, no one could have imagined that he was the world's #1 in disaster, without saying a word. I hope the things that come out later will not disappoint me. Chen Nian looked at the big guy in front of him with a smile on his lips. Countless branches wrapped in flames flew in. There is no room for half avoidance. If hit, Chen Nian will become a hedgehog on the spot and die in the most painful way. But he doesn't need to hide either. Lips twitched slightly, and the obscure voice turned into speech. Sequence 33. Wind magic cut. Old Age casually waved his palm, and invisible wind blades were the sharpest weapons, cutting off the branches of the sky. He strolled among countless fallen branches and willows, strolling in flames like a visiting king. No, impossible. He is not a flame mage, but a rare professional elemental mage. The 3 of them stared blankly at Chen Nian, their pupils filled with shock. In this way, Chen Nian felt like entering an uninhabited realm and came to the front of a huge flame disaster tree. He could feel the high temperature rushing towards him, it was so hot that his skin was almost burning. So, a golden light shone in the aged pupils. Speech and spirit. The golden sword of judgment. Within the realm, everything can be judged, including temperature. When the temperature is extinguished, aging no longer feels hot. But the monster in front of him was clearly not convinced and launched a crazy attack, extinguishing countless flames. Those flames were also cut off one after another, unable to approach the old age at all. Finally, the flame disaster tree man entered the realm of judgment. Click. Its massive body cracked open without any warning and quickly disappeared into the air. Congratulations on defeating the mutated boss, Flame Disaster Tree Man. Obtain epic level equipment, Fireworks Tree Clothes, obtain Skill Scroll, Advanced, obtain the talent card, Monster Hunter, Gene Energy plus 1025. Your level has been raised from level 35 to level 43. A series of prompts appeared before Chen Nian's eyes, and everything fell into his backpack. At the first moment, Chen Nian did not go to see how the so-called epic level equipment worked. The biggest surprise for him was the Skill Scroll, Advanced. In Disaster, players cannot unlock various abilities by leveling up. Those rare and powerful abilities need to be awakened through dropped skill scrolls or skill synthesis, and the conditions are extremely harsh. This is even more true of the aged Speech Spirit Saint. Almost every one of those high-risk words and spirits has been awakened with great effort over the years. The Grim Reaper, one of the extremely high-risk Grim Reapers, requires killing 1,000 players to unlock. The Candle Dragon is one of the extremely high-risk verbal spirits, and unlocking it requires deep diving in the most terrifying volcano for 3 days and 3 nights. The Wrath of the Gods is one of the extremely high-risk speech spirits. Unlocking it requires collecting 7 ways of earth-shattering thunder. But if you have the Skill Scroll, Advanced, you have the opportunity to learn it directly. Harvest is abundant. On the other side, those 3 people have already been scared and foolish. Chapter 7. Guess it right, let me show you the legs. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The 3 of them would never have dreamed that that kid would conquer the mutated disaster tree man alone. Am I dreaming? The woman blinked her eyes desperately and took quick deep breaths. Until now, she couldn't believe it. Even the high player in the game, Brother Su Meng, has rare talents and is currently only in his 20s. In front of the mutated disaster tree people, they are just lambs waiting to be slaughtered. And monsters. He deliberately used fire magic to attack the disaster tree man. Su Meng slowly exhaled a breath. Why? Wait. He was determined that he could kill the mutant tree man and deliberately made it mutate. At the same time as saying this, the woman couldn't help but take a cold breath. Everything is in his grasp. This person is not an ordinary player, he is definitely a top expert in disaster. Big brother, but we also put in effort, we can't just let him take the reward like this. Shoo, don't seek death. Su Meng shook his head, his face solemn. He dares not provoke such a big shot, he doesn't know how to die then. As Chen Nian walked over, he immediately stepped forward, his face full of flattery. Big brother, you're too fierce. Thanks to you, otherwise our lives would be in danger. The woman quickly agreed, yes, brother. I've never seen you so powerful before. What are you called in the game? Maybe we've all heard of it. Just keep talking. Is it okay to ask about Big Brother's privacy casually? I'm sorry, Big Brother, I've offended you so much. In the future, we will be your little brother. Feel free to say anything you need. Chen Nian ignored them. These are not on the same level as oneself, and there is no need for deep friendship. So he turned his head and left, ready to count his gains before continuing to the next place for upgrading. The shelf is quite big. TSK. I think I got something good, so I was in a hurry to leave. He can't leave. A faint glow flashed in Su Meng's eyes. Big brother, didn't you say you couldn't provoke him? We can't afford to provoke him, but he has something good on him. Why don't we call more people? Don't forget the other brothers. Big brother has foresight. Yes, we still have so many brothers. Su Meng immediately made a phone call. Hello, Tiangu, bring your brothers over immediately. I have encountered a fierce person here who killed a level 80 disaster tree person alone. What? You heard me right, he killed the wild boss alone, so strong that he must have a lot of good things on him. There are also things that have exploded in the disaster tree, and if you sell them now, they will at least break 1 billion. Advanced equipment, those wealthy bosses are bound to scramble for it, with value but no market. It's definitely a big deal. Okay, I'll call all the brothers over right away. Don't lose sight of them. A wave of wealth will come today. After hanging up the phone, Su Meng looked back at the distant figure, with a smile on his lips. Only by being ruthless can we establish ourselves in the new world, and the times have changed. After Chen Nian left, he began to take stock of his current gains. Fireworks tree clothes, epic level, requirement hierarchy. First order defense. 150 attack. 30 attribute bonus. Constitution +10, agility +10 special effect, fire resistance. Can greatly resist flame attacks. This equipment is absolutely top-notch in the early stages. The defense provided by just one piece of equipment is almost equivalent to most of the sophisticated equipment on an old body. It also provides 20 additional attributes and special effects for fire resistance. It is truly an epic. After putting it on, the aging attributes change significantly. Chen Nian. The Sage of Speech and Spirit, only, gene level. First order, 43 levels, physical fitness. 60 agility. 55 extraordinary. 50 attack bonus. 130 defense bonus. 350 combat power assessment. 32 stars. Such basic attributes are top-notch anywhere. It is not an exaggeration to say that the current attributes of Chen Nian can ignore the bombardment of hot weapons such as howitzers. If ordinary superhumans want to attack him, they may not be able to break through the defense. After changing into this equipment, encountering monsters below level 50, Chen Nian is invincible. Detected the first player wearing epic level equipment. Trading space has been opened. Is this the world's first epic? Chen Nian, with a lively mood, opened the trading space to check. The first thing to pay attention to is the currency exchange ratio. 100 yuan equals 1 gold in this so-called trading space. The purchasing power of gold is very strong. Players can freely list and sell all the items they have obtained. At the same time, people can also speak freely on the channel. In order to protect privacy, everyone's name will be blurred, such as Chen Nian being changed to Chen Nian. Bai Li. Who has produced epic level equipment in the sleeping trough, so fierce. Li Niu. This Nima, I still have all the ordinary equipment on me, not even a sophisticated one. He has already made an epic. Xiao Xianzi. It's too scary, I don't know who it is, it must be an ultimate expert. In the chat channel, everyone is enthusiastically discussing and struggling with which big shot has opened a new milestone. Skyscrapers, aerial villas. A woman was sitting by the window, her perfect figure accentuated by a red dress, and her long legs were curled up, snowy and flawless, evoking endless longing. The woman has long wine red hair, and her appearance can instantly kill those top-tier female celebrities. Yi Hongling, the precious daughter of the general of the Dragon Kingdom. In Disaster, her name is Qi Ling, the flame goddess who enchants thousands of people, and she is the pinnacle of female players. The man she likes is undoubtedly the strongest in the world. ID is silent, which means old age. Oh. Epic level equipment. Looking at the newly opened chat channel, Yi Hongling felt lost in thought, and a charming smile suddenly appeared at the corner of her mouth. Silently, in the game, you have escaped me for a lifetime. Now that you have merged with reality, it seems that you cannot escape from my mother's palm. Azu. Chen Nian sneezed coldly. Someone is thinking of me. He opened his phone and saw a message about the woman appearing on WeChat. Qi Ling brother Buyu, if I guess correctly, did you come up with the first epic level equipment? Laughing, this woman is quite sensitive. Chen Nian immediately replied. What are you talking about? I don't understand at all. Qi Ling. Still pretending. You wouldn't think that if you set up a virtual IP for yourself and don't expose any information online, I won't be able to find you, right? Chen Nian. Qi Ling. Someone posted online, saying that they saw a raging fire somewhere and then disappeared, as if they had experienced a major battle. Qi Ling. Jiangnan Province, Linhai City, right? I shudder with age. I didn't expect that she could also find any trace of this. Chen Nian. Are you crazy? What do you want to do when you find me? Qi Ling. I'm here to send you 1,000 miles. Chen Nian. I died in a fat house at the age of 40, are you serious? Qi Ling. Guess, I got it right. Let me show you the legs. Chen Nian. If you know your legs look good, why don't you give people leg photos every day? Qi Ling. I'll only send it to you, baby. Chen Nian. Chapter 8. Encountering a little fangirl. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The primary task of aging is to sell the talent card Monster Hunter. Monster Hunters are not a rare talent, but they are better than ordinary talents. After everyone can hunt monsters, they will definitely ruin the streets. So the earlier you sell it, the better. In this way, you can receive your first bucket of gold, which can be exchanged for real-world currency and used to buy what you need. Always be one step faster. Chen Nian. The talent Monster Hunter has been listed, and 10,000 gold is directly traded without negotiation. As soon as his message came out, it immediately exploded the entire channel. What? Someone started selling talent cards. Good thing. With this, one can directly evolve into a superhero. But 10,000 gold is too outrageous, it's equivalent to 1 million in reality. I'm afraid my brothers didn't come to grab it, did they? Yeah, demon hunters are not uncommon in the game either. You can buy them for 10 gold later. I'll give you 100 gold, will you sell it? The second sentence of Chen Nian only has 4 words. First come, first served. Although wealthy people who truly understand games will not spend a lot of money on cards like Monster Hunter, there is always a big loser in the game. Huang Long is applying for a transaction with you. Do you accept it? Accept. Chen Nian displayed his own products, but the other party didn't leave any ink on them, so he directly paid. Transaction successful. In the old account, there was a direct increase of 10,000 gold, which means earning 1 million in minutes. This is the benefit of taking one step faster. Others will always be able to eat your exhaust, and all the waste you eliminate is considered precious in the eyes of others. And aging means always being faster than others, being the fastest pioneer, and becoming the strongest. This is his goal. Women will only affect my speed of upgrading. I hope that woman will not find me. The most important gain is that it has not been used for many years. Advanced skill scroll. I hope to unlock a practical powerful voice. Use. In an instant, Chen Nian seemed to fall into a vast abyss. In the darkness with no visible fingers, it seems that there are millions of ghosts surrounding themselves, dragging them into Shura hell. Sequence 128. Death, awakened, Chen Nian. This step on the horse actually unlocked the extremely demanding Death God. It's so great it's really a big profit. Grim Reaper. Expands the domain to strip all creatures of their field of view, during which they gain Grim Reaper possession and significantly increase their attack power for 30 seconds. Harvest. Every time a player is killed, the Death God's possessed attack power permanently increases by 10. This spirit is unlocked only after defeating the 8th level monster in the late stage of Chen Nian and obtaining a skill book, and then completing extremely strict conditions. Extremely powerful. And this spirit of speech becomes more powerful in the later stages, even surpassing the golden sword of judgment. Is someone following me? Chen Nian keenly sensed two malicious gazes behind him. Speak eloquently, eagle's eyes. Opening the eagle's eye in old age, the field of vision instantly expands several times, allowing for a clear view of the surroundings. 2 are hidden in the bushes, 2 are hidden in trees, and 1 is hidden under the slopes. At least 5 people are secretly following me. It seems that those 3 people seemed polite to me just now, but in reality, they still couldn't forget the benefits I gained. Hehe, okay, then let's let you sharpen the edge on death. Chen Nian's gaze turned cold. But we absolutely cannot do anything here. Because the woman in charge of Qi Ling is chasing her, her position has already been exposed. If she engages in a mass murder here, her true identity will inevitably be exposed. We need to flee to another remote and uninhabited place first. Of course, it would be great if their helpers came in more. Chen Nian made up his mind and began to accelerate his steps to escape. Did he find us? Want to run? Can you run away? Keep up. Our people are all rushing this way, and it's okay to be caught. He's already a turtle in a jar. Su Meng is calling his brothers. Did you see it all just now? An epic level equipment has already been produced. Based on my guess, it's probably from that kid who killed a level 80 disaster tree person. Attention everyone, that kid's strength is not simple, but it should consume a lot. As long as we have enough people, we can definitely take him down. If we can sell epic level equipment, hehe. Getting rich and prosperous, just today. Upon hearing these words, the brothers were also excited one by one. Everyone came for money. The times have changed. As long as one can benefit oneself, what is killing? 5 people, 10 people, 20 people, 50 people. Su Meng almost called out all the brothers he could. These people were all met before in disaster, and now everyone is extraordinary. 50 extraordinary beings surrounded and hunted one person, and they believed they had given Chen Nian the greatest attention. Big brother, that kid is really so terrifying. It's worth having so many of us deal with him. Nonsense. He killed a level 80 boss alone. Are you okay? As long as we deal with him, we'll send it out. Chen Nian almost spans nearly 20 kilometers. I have fled to a remote mountainous area outside the city. It seems that the fish have been caught quite well. Chen Nian saw a cave ahead and prepared to drill in. Later on, they will definitely think that they have nowhere to escape. Gather them all together, and it will be convenient for them to solve it all at once, so as not to let any fish slip through the net. As soon as I entered the cave, a hurried female voice came from inside. Who? By the light of the fire on the rock wall, Chen Nian could see each other clearly. A girl with an appearance of about 18 years old, with a delicate face. She has a petite figure, wearing a hoodie and shorts, and just looking at her makes her feel protective. She squatted on the ground, as if she had been injured. I have known her for years. Not only in her old age, but most teenagers in school know her. Qin Yu. You mistook the wrong person. The girl quickly pulled down the brim of her hat, trying to cover her face. Just 1 year into her debut, she has won countless fans with her charming face and sweet voice, becoming the white moonlight in the hearts of men. Female singer Qin Yu, isn't it you? Chen Nian displayed the photos found on his phone. You. Qin Yu was so angry that his teeth itched. He didn't expect this man to search for photos on the spot. I can't even fit it anymore. Aged and speechless. I didn't expect to meet anyone here. Chen Nian actually doesn't pay attention to the entertainment industry. The reason why he knows Qin Yu is because during a public interview with Qin Yu, the host asked such a question. Host. Xiao Yu, do you have any other entertainment activities besides singing? Qin Yu. I like playing games, a game called Disaster, where I enjoy exploring and adventuring freely. Host. I didn't expect that Xiaoyu is also a loyal player of Disaster. Do you know Buyu? I heard that he is the strongest player in the world. Chen Yu. I know. Buyu is my idol, he is the pride of our dragon country. Unfortunately, my level is too poor and I don't have the qualification to play with him. Host. I didn't expect Xiaoyu to have her own idol. If Buyu had the opportunity to see this interview, perhaps he would take the initiative to play with you. Of course, Chen Nian never played with her in the game. There are too many girls circling around her every day, each with a more terrifying identity. Chen Yu, a singer, really can't squeeze in. I didn't expect to meet my little fan girl in such a place. Chapter 9. Siege of Chen Nian, Flame Dragon Scroll. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Are you injured? Hey. I'm fine. Chen Yu looked up in some surprise. Xueling's big eyes looked at Chen Nian, silly and cute. She didn't expect that after the man recognized his identity, there was no fanatical reaction. On the contrary, he came to care about me with a calm expression on his face. That's strange. Alright, whether you're injured or not, I'll give you some advice and get out of here quickly. What? Chen Yu stared blankly. This man is going to drive me away as soon as he comes up. Don't you know how to cherish the beautiful girl? It's too cold. No, why are you driving me away? I'm not leaving. If you don't leave, you'll have to die here. Chen Nian said solemnly, there are about 50 people outside who are surrounding and killing me. I estimate they will soon surround this place in groups. Ah. Chen Yu was once again shocked. What heinous thing did this person do to be chased by so many people? Aren't everyone practicing separately now? She didn't believe it, so she stood up and stumbled outward, wanting to see the situation. The limping appearance is silly and adorable. Arriving outside the cave, she glanced over and was immediately frightened. There are really dozens of people gathered outside, almost completely blocking this place, and everyone looks bad. Ah. Really, really, really. Chen Yu was frightened. However, she still pretended to be calm and comforted herself. These people are not here to find me and have nothing to do with me. May I ask if I can leave? If you want to find him, it's inside. Chen Yu was timid and down to earth. Unexpectedly, a burst of laughter suddenly echoed around. This girl can do it. With her figure and face, tsk. You ignorant fool. Do you know who she is? That newly debuted female singer, I've seen her on TV. What's the name? Chen? Oh. I didn't expect that the female singer is also an extraordinary person who wants to come out to fight monsters and upgrade. This era has really changed. A man in a leather jacket dyed yellow approached and said, this has nothing to do with you. You can leave. Really? That's great. Chen Yu breathed a sigh of relief. Just make the brothers feel good, I haven't tasted the taste of a female singer yet. Haha, Brother Dao is domineering. I'm drooling at this girl, damn it. Chen Yu. When games merge with reality, the world has already changed. Only the strong can become the truth. These people have completely exposed the ugliness in their hearts and cannot let themselves go. So she had to quickly escape back into the cave. Returning to the side of Chen Nian, with a mournful face, as if the world was about to collapse. What should I do? I can't leave either. I'm sorry I implicated you. Chen Nian is also very helpless. How did he expect someone to be in such a niche? Is apologizing useful? We're all going to die inside. Why are you so calm? Chen Yu was almost crying. She was really desperate, and she didn't expect to end up in such a situation for no reason. So what are you doing here? How did you get hurt? Chen Nian decided to chat with her. There is a dungeon in this cave. I got injured by a monster and escaped. Then I called a few friends to come and fight the dungeon together, and you came. Woo woo. Chen Nian wiped the sparkling corner of her eyes and cried. While crying, she picked up her phone and made a phone call, telling those friends not to approach, otherwise she would also be implicated. You're quite kind, Chen Nian smiled. Kindness hasn't been killed by you yet. Even if I were a ghost, I wouldn't let you go. Haha. You're still laughing, you. Woo woo, bad guy. Chen Yu's pear blossoms brought rain, crying so wrongly that a series of small pearls emerged. At this moment, the group of people outside finally gathered and prepared to take action. The man in black leather is called Brother Dao, the leader of this group. Su Meng smiled and said, Brother Dao, that kid is very strong. Why don't we just blow up this cave to prevent our brothers from getting hurt? Okay, since you discovered the person, then listen to you. What did that woman do just now? If she doesn't come out, then we'll all die together inside. The question is, why did this place get bombed? That kid is not even afraid of the flame disaster tree man, and ordinary methods may not be able to move him. Brother Dao, I have something good here. The Flame Dragon Scroll. This thing requires 10 people to motivate it together, but it has great power and can definitely directly kill that kid. Sure enough, it's a good thing. 10 people, get ready. Behind, a team of 3 quietly hid, afraid to show their heads. They are the friends called by Chen Nian. What should we do? Xiao Yu is still inside, and they are clearly preparing to kill with a fierce hand. What can we do? Can the 3 of us still defeat dozens of them? Hey, why is Xiao Yu so unlucky? Even if you can make a dungeon, it's all over now. Although some of them have reported to the police and contacted the law enforcement team, those broken incidents in the city have not been resolved yet. How could the law enforcement team have the mood to run outside the city and take care of these? In terms of strength, all 3 of them are only in their 20s, and going up is like delivering food. Look, what are they doing? Is this using a large magic scroll? I've seen siege battles in the game before. They even have this kind of thing. I saw a scroll floating in the air, and 10 people chanting spells at the same time. The temperature keeps rising, and the air is distorted by the high temperature. Countless flames condensed in mid-air, gradually transforming into a nearly 10-meter-long red dragon. At present, this thing can at least instantly kill players below level 70. Kid, whether you're a god or a ghost today, you'll have to die. Go. The flame dragon breaks through the sky. In an instant, he rushed into the cave with the most brutal and savage posture. The terrifying flames filled the hole in an instant. Hee, I estimate they'll be roasted in less than 2 minutes. Brother Dao smiled and patted Su Meng's shoulder, saying, You have made great contributions this time. There is something good that you can take 20% of alone. Huh, Brother Dao is amazing. Inside the cave. Intense vibration. Chen Nian looked at the petite girl beside him, holding her head in both hands. If you want to survive, come over. Hey. Before Chen Yu could react, a large stone fell from above and knocked her unconscious. Chen Nian. This girl, her luck is not very good. Helpless, Chen Nian had no choice but to hold her in his arms, feeling that she was really light and delicate and charming. Boom boom. Yanlong crashed in and swallowed up the old years in one gulp. The entire cave has turned into a fiery hell, with hot air rapidly expanding in the enclosed space and exploding violently. The sky was filled with gravel, like fireworks blooming. Chapter 10. Spiritual Speech and Death God. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Okay. Looking at the blooming fireworks, around 50 people outside couldn't help but applaud. 2 lives in their eyes are not moving. At this moment, these people only have endless greed in their hearts. Let's go take a look. Brother Dao took the lead and prepared to inspect the spoils of war. But in the pile of rubble, a faint movement suddenly emerged, causing everyone to stop. Bang! The gravel exploded. A boy holding a girl slowly walked out of the ruins. Dressed clean and unharmed. No, impossible. The encirclement of dozens of people instinctively began to retreat, and the cold hair on their backs had completely stood up. The greatest fear is like an invisible black hand, slowly gripping everyone's heart. How could anyone possibly block the fire dragon scroll at this stage? What kind of monster is he? As a seasoned gamer, Dao Gu once led a team to fight against various sides. Now that the game integrates reality, he is also the first to summon a team to upgrade. To achieve a great cause. But at this moment, his ambition is being crushed step by step. The young man in front of me is too terrifying enough to make his legs tremble, almost unable to stand steady. The three people hiding outside were also stunned, especially when they saw Chen Nian being held unharmed. Their hearts were already filled with turmoil. Who is that person? I don't know you. How could Xiao Yu have such a talented friend? But after all, he's only one person. What if he comes out? Can he face the siege of dozens of people? I have a premonition that this person has exceeded our imagination. Chen Nian gently placed Chen Nian on the ground. An indifferent gaze swept over the crowd. He's only one person, what if he comes out? Kill him. Su Meng was completely panicked. He had thought that this kid was very strong, but he didn't expect him to be so strong. Yes, you're right. Don't be afraid, we have many people. Although some people are cheering, no one dares to truly move forward. If you don't take action, I can move now. Amidst the raging winds of old age, countless broken stones danced and spun on one side. Centered around him, darkness spreads rapidly from under his feet, like ink splattering on a canvas. Speech spirit. Death God. The terrifying high-risk speech of sequence 128. As soon as it was launched, it brazenly deprived everyone of their vision, turning this place into an abyss with no visible fingers. What's going on? I can't see anything. People shout and scream in confusion, completely losing their sense of direction, making them fearful, panicked, and helpless at this moment. Behind Chen Nian appeared a ghostly figure of the god of death, with a skeleton-like right hand holding a huge sickle and the left hand in charge of the life and death book, emitting a suffocating pressure. You have entered the death possession state, with an attack power of 300%, 30 seconds, death possessed. The old attack power bonus has reached as high as 390. Even if he doesn't activate the death god possession, he can crush this group of people just by relying on his own attributes. Nowadays, attacks are skyrocketing, and no one can afford his attacks. Wolves enter the flock. The shadow of the god of death behind the aging years, a single sword is a life. This group of people is like fish on a chopping board, they can only be slaughtered at will. The old figure shuttles through the crowd at an extremely fast speed. Wherever it passed, no one survived. Sickle of Death attack +10, Sickle of Death attack +10, every time you kill someone, Death's attack power will permanently stack up. The later it gets, the more terrifying it becomes. Chen Yu's three friends were almost scared out of their wits. Their eyes couldn't penetrate the darkness, they couldn't see what was happening inside, they could only hear screams and screams. Inside. What's going on inside? A few people were frightened and shivered all over. But it didn't last too long. 30 seconds quickly ended, and the pitch-black field receded like a tide, and the view of the scene gradually became clearer. Broken limbs and arms, blood scattered everywhere. Except for that terrifying young man, there was no life left, all of them died. The strong smell of blood permeated the air, and the young man gracefully stepped over the scattered corpses, as if strolling through the backyard. The Grim Reaper will forcibly deprive all the emotions of an old man, making him a true killing machine without any mercy. True high-risk rhetoric. The old relationship has recovered, but I just feel nauseous, with no sense of guilt or unbearable. The next time you use Death God, the attack power bonus will become 300% plus 500. I am very satisfied with my old age, and the stronger I grow, the stronger I become. The ground in front of me is full of fallen equipment and props. Another day fengshu, salad of assorted fresh vegetables. He began to pack his backpacks one by one. I remember. The bespectacled chubby man sat on the ground, his lips trembling uncontrollably. His breathing became increasingly rapid. I have seen this ability before. He is. The other two were extremely anxious and said, "Are you saying, what is he? Not speaking. He's not speaking. I've seen this ability before, only he can use it in the world." In the former national war, he rushed into the enemy's pile and used this ability to kill thousands of people in less than a minute. He directly killed the enemy in fear. After listening, the other two were immediately stunned and didn't react. At the second moment, immediately cover your mouth with your hands to prevent any screams from leaking out. He's the strongest player in the world. Isn't he? Who else can there be besides him? Who else can be so strong besides him? Can you kill dozens of people at once? It's only a matter of time before he can inherit the talents in the game and become the world's strongest again. I didn't expect us to have this luck. That's great. I never thought I could see him in my life. God knows how excited a few people are. If we are fortunate enough to get to know each other, who else dares to provoke us in the future? This is an extremely thick leg. Reminders kept popping up in front of Chen Nian's eyes. Obtain regular equipment, bronze helmet, obtain excellent equipment, Linksy earrings, obtain skill scroll, fireball technique, obtain skill scroll, half moon slash, obtain the material, wolf skin. All the things randomly dropped by this group of people after their death can be said to have earned a lot of money. Afterwards, they all went to the trading market to sell. It's great. But before that, we need to handle the matter here first, as there are a few people who have been peeking at it for a long time. You can come out now. Chen Nian said calmly, "Give you a minute, don't let me go find you." Upon hearing these words, the three of them trembled all over. Hurriedly crawling and jumping out of the hiding place, one person almost fell to the ground. When they truly saw no language, they were shocked beyond words. They didn't expect the world's strongest player to be such a delicate young man. "Big brother, I'm sorry, we didn't mean to peek. You have a large amount, don't argue with us like we do." They are even trembling when talking. Chen Nian knew that these three people were friends of Qinyu, and he was not prepared to make things difficult, but the necessary deterrence must be present. "What I just saw is confidential. Keep it a secret. We haven't seen anything. Big brother, please take it easy." A few people risked their lives to ensure that they almost made a poisonous oath. Give them 10,000 courage, and they shouldn't deceive Chen Nian unless they want to die. Chen Nian nodded with a smile. "Bring all of these together for me." "Yes." The three of them suppressed their nausea and moved the people together. Chen Xian used Yan Ling's flame explosion to burn it together. After almost cleaning up, two coughs came from behind. It turned out that Qin Yu had been awakened by thick smoke.